Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today is a Wednesday, and if you follow my channel, I typically don't share videos on a Wednesday. If you follow my channel, I share pretty much weekly updates on my journey to financial freedom here on YouTube. I'm very transparent. I share my entire portfolio that you see here on your screen here through M1 Finance. If you're not familiar with M1 Finance, it's a commission-free brokerage account that you can invest with. It's ideal for dividend investors, long-term investors, not so much for trading. I would recommend going the Robinhood route if you're familiar with that. But in today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. So today I want to talk about how I was able to excite my wife to start investing. It's been a couple of months in the works where I was trying to nudge her into the concept or the idea of investing. And in today's video, it's all about that process, all about that journey of how I was able to excite her in investing into the stock market. So in today's video, I am so excited to share with all of you that I have a special guest. I have asked my wife, Keira here, to join in today's video.
Hey everybody!
So this is a little bit of a unique situation because this morning I sent her a message while I was at work and I said, hey, do you want to be on one of my videos here today on YouTube? And she was so great. She said, yeah, let's do it. And so really excited. And with that, this video is not scripted. If you've watched any of my other videos, I am absolutely horrible at editing. I'm not a video guru editor, so I apologize for that. I hope that the content, the quality of the content makes up for the lack of editing skills on my part. So in today's video, we're going to do it completely, a whole dry run through this. We're not going to be editing anything. So if we stumble on our words, so be it. That's us being who we really are. So we're not going to be editing the video, and there we go. So everybody, this is my portfolio. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Keira's portfolio. All right. So this is her individual portfolio. You can see her smile. I don't have a camera on my videos, but she is absolutely smiling right now. So she is so proud of her pie. I can't tell you enough. Every single time I ask her, okay, well, how's your pie performing? She always asks, well, how is yours doing? And then she wants to figure out how mine's doing. And then she wants to be able to say that hers is beating my pie. Pretty cool. So, and in today's video, the goal here is to kind of walk through her portfolio, her process, and how she started to invest. Because outside of her 401k, she's never really invested. And as of recent this year, she just started investing in a Roth IRA. This is not a Roth IRA. This is a taxable account. In her Roth IRA, it's just pure index funds from Vanguard. But aside from that, she's never invested in her life. And she's going to share a little bit about that here on the video today. So without further ado, let's hear from her. So I have a few questions up here on the screen that we'll ask her, and we'll jump back and forth from the PowerPoint screen here with the questions and back into the portfolio. So Keira, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from Germany originally. I came to the States about 2 years ago. I work in marketing in a company here in Austin, Texas, and I have never invested before. It's mainly because, my parents were very conservative and very uneducated when it came to that, and I was kind of raised with like, stocks are bad, they're so unpredictable, I don't know what to do with them, so better stay away. Otherwise you will lose a lot of money. And so that's the environment I grew up in, and thus I never invested or even thought about it before.
Okay, I think that's also very, very common. When I was over there in Germany, that's really a common, perception of German nationals. So very, very interesting. Next question here. What interested or excited you most to start investing when you came to the States? What was the most exciting part?
Yes, so when I came to the States, it became pretty obvious to me that everyone was way more educated in terms of the stock market and way more invested in it than I was used to. And then, of course, I kind of picked up on what you were doing. You started this channel, you were starting to invest more and did your research, and I picked up on that a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and it seemed way more simple than I thought it would be, and I was like, you know what, I could probably do it myself. I want to at least try and see how far I get, so to speak. So yeah, that got me really excited and interested about it.
Okay, very cool. So what scared you the most about investing?
That was the uncertainty. So despite my background where I was taught to stay away from that, it was like very nebulous. You didn't really know what was going on or how it works. All you picked up were like those stories, like some people got super rich with them super fast and others got bankrupt because of them. And it was just, we didn't have like, at least when I grew up, I didn't have enough resources because no one around me did it or was invested in it. So there was no way of learning more about it unless you would do it yourself. But like I said, within my upbringing, it was like, okay, no, I'd rather stay away from that, have my normal 9-to-5 job and, do what everyone else does and be on the safe side, so to speak.
Okay. I think that's really interesting. And I think it's not really because you were uneducated. It's just you weren't aware. You didn't know. And so it's one of those things that, especially here in the United States, you don't learn about finance and money in school. And I think that's also very common here in the United States as well. All right. So what do you like best about M1 Finance? And I know that you haven't invested with other platforms, other brokerage accounts. You're only used to M1 Finance. But what do you like the best about it?
I do like the simplicity of it. So knowing that I have no experience whatsoever, it's so easy just to set up your portfolio, choose the companies that you want to invest in, set up your initial, payment?
Your transfers?
Transfers. And then I have set up reoccurring transfers. I have my initial transfer, and then I have set up weekly transfers, so I don't even need to worry about further like investing into my account. It's just happening all by itself, and all that I need to do is like go into the app and see, my pie is green, and be happy about it, and that's it.
And so do you track it like every single day, every week? Just how do you manage it?
I actually go into the account several times a day, just because it's real time, and I'm getting excited every time I go in there. It's like, oh, everything is green, and then I look at my pie specifically, like the companies that I picked, and I was like, oh, I did well, and like, oh no, this one is down, and I don't know. You start to I'm missing the word.
Well, here, while you're finding the word, I think it's important to catch everybody up. So when we originally set up her slices, you're going to see 3 slices here. You're going to see Keira's favorites. You're going to see dividend growth ETFs, dividend growth stocks. And so we allocated them a little bit differently, or we weighted them differently. These 2 slices I actually selected myself, and in this slice, Keira selected herself, and we'll dive into that here in just a second. But just so everyone can understand the background there with your slices specifically, or your company specifically.
Good point.
Well, cool. So you set up your transfers, and what day do you have it transfer into your account?
Each Monday.
Every single Monday.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at the next question. Very similar question. How do you like using the M1 Finance app?
So the app is actually the only thing that I'm really using, just because everything that I want to do with M1 Finance, I can do through the app. So I'm not a superpower investor, so I'm not like going there and like having my statistics and crunching the numbers every day, every week. So all I do is I just check in that to see if everything is all right, and that I'm growing my my dividends and my the worth of my account.
Mm-hmm. The total value of the account, the actual capital. Yeah. I can agree with you there. I think the app is really easy to use if you just want to check in. You want to check your activity feed. You want to see, okay, how many dividends have come in. And I really only use the desktop. I guess you really wouldn't necessarily need to. You could just always use the app. I personally use both. Sometimes when I'm at work, depending on where I'm at, I might take a look at it. Okay, cool. Well, let's go on to the next question here. how did you decide which companies to buy? And that's what we were talking about here earlier because we set up the slices. So looking at your specific slice, how did you decide which companies to invest in?
Yeah, that's a tricky question because I certainly didn't do it by the book. So I didn't crunch the numbers. I didn't do a lot of research because that would just go beyond my horizon at that point, because I would need to be way more invested into that whole topic than I am at this point, which was also one of the reasons why I didn't do it earlier, because it was such a mental block because it was so much information. So what I did, I was followed my gut a little bit. And selected companies that I really like on a personal level. So, for example, I'm invested in Target. Simple reason, we go to Walmart, we go to Target. And so this is a funny and actually true story. I'm a huge fan of the Target cards because they're just so easy to navigate. So I was thinking about that when I was selecting my companies. I was like, okay, it's not just about the cards, obviously, but it's the whole message and the implication behind it. They just care for their customers and they do everything to have a pleasant experience for everyone, and which tells me that more, if you want to put it that way, they're more than just a company. There's a heart behind it, and that is really important for me. Also, they're very diversified, the range of products they offer and the services, so that's another factor. But also talking about the heart behind it, some companies I picked for a reason, just because they are good companies in the sense of they're doing a lot of charity work, they're doing a lot of environmentally friendly initiatives. So for example, Salesforce would be one example that I selected because of just the company value behind it. And then some of the big ones where you can just say for sure, be almost certain, or as certain as it can get, that they won't go bankrupt anytime soon and they will keep doing well. So that would be Google, Amazon, Microsoft. So you can probably be pretty safe with them. And then just some other companies that I really like.
Mm-hmm. And so why did you invest with Sony?
Sony. That's also one of the, that's also a heartfelt story. So I'm a brand fan, if there's a thing like that, since I was a little kid, since my parents had this amazing Sony sound system in their living room, and I just loved it so much. I'm also a gamer, so PlayStation 4 is my go-to, so I've always liked Sony as a brand for their products. I think they have high quality products. They're not doing everything right by no means, especially lately, but it's just, I just like them.
You can relate to them. I think that makes complete sense. And to kind of throw in there, do you know who Warren Buffett is?
Yes.
You do know who Warren Buffett is?
I
Okay,
do.
she must be watching my channel. So Warren Buffett, something that always stuck with me is what he's said is, when you're going to invest into companies, you want to invest into your circle of competence. You want to invest into companies that you understand. For the most part. I mean, we understand what Salesforce is. We understand what Google is. We understand what Sony is. We understand what Target is. These companies, we understand them. We don't know all of their balance sheets. We don't know how profitable they are, by what percentage, what is their year-on-year growth. And I think that's okay. But still you're investing in the companies that you heard of and that you know. So that's definitely a great start to do that. Now, one thought-provoking comment that I would make, if we were having this conversation 20 years ago and we had a brand new Kodak camera, we could always say, yeah, Kodak, we know about Kodak. But where are they today? They're actually they no longer exist. So that's something to definitely be careful of, that, not to let your emotions overcome reason. But I think, there's the reasoning behind why you've selected these companies. It's great.
And that makes me all the way more proud that it's doing so well. And that's why I'm always in this combat with you to see if my pie does better than yours. I followed my gut and I was right.
No joke, everybody. She'll send me texts throughout the day and say, hey, guess what? My pie's beating yours.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the house is on fire or something. And she's like, guess what? ... Or I got something to tell you, ... And then she'll tell me, yeah, my pie's beating yours.
And sometimes, you selected the other two for me, and sometimes yours are down and my pie is the one, or my part of the portfolio is the one that's up. And I will make sure to let you know.
All right, very cool. So we got two more questions. What are you most excited about when investing?
I'm excited, for one, how easy it actually can be for someone with literally no background, thanks to M1 Finance, or like, I don't know if there are alternatives out there like that, but it seems to be a very simple way to get your feet wet and to start investing and get this hunger, and then just see it growing. I mean, in my case, I've not invested a whole lot, but yeah, as you can see here, I'm getting excited about every single cent that I get in dividends. It's like 8 cents at this point, or 37, I don't know. It's like, I'm so excited about that. Even it's baby steps, obviously, but it will grow, and I know that because over time, I'm investing each Monday. So each Monday, my cut grows a little bit more, and just by doing, I don't want to say nothing, because if you do it right, or if you like do it more, there's a lot of research attached to that, and I know that. But in my case, I literally do nothing other than going into the app and be like, oh yeah, I'm green again, and oh, I earned another 3 cents of dividends, and that's really exciting.
It's rewarding too, right?
Rewarding, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, the last question here for everybody. What advice would you give to those that are watching, that are trying to help their friends and family to start investing?
So my biggest advice is taking the fear of the unknown away from them, because that was the mind block that I had. It's not that complicated to get started. It's not that huge mystery. It's also one of my fears that I had is losing everything, that I invest, I don't know, $100 and then next week it's gone when the market tanks. So you just have them make clear that it's also a long-term thing, that they won't get rich overnight until they do, unless they do some aggressive trading, which I wouldn't recommend. But show them how you got started, and how easy it actually is to make baby steps in the right direction, and then take this initial fear away. And if they're really hooked by then, they will start on themselves to do research and decide for themselves which path is the right for them. But taking away this fear in the beginning, I think, is the biggest help to get them started.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think that's some really great advice. And, we've been together for years now, and I've gotten to learn a new side of you, because I know that you're a gamer. I know that you're somewhat competitive. You want to win, but I've seen that in a whole new light with this, when we're competing against, quote unquote competing, like not aggressively, but like we're comparing results in our pies. It's interesting how that part of our relationship has grown closer or tighter. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
All right. Well, cool. So everybody, this is how, our journey, or how I was, able to slowly but surely nudge my wife into getting excited about investing. And her journey to this, starting investing is going to likely be different than another person's, but this is how it's been in our lives. And everybody, I think this is everything that we had for today's video. One thing that is super cool about M1 Finance, I think for me, if you follow my channel, you know that I absolutely am a diehard fan of M1 Finance. I'm an investor, a buy and hold investor. I buy for the long term, and what I've tried so many different things, and I can't tell you how happy I am with M1 Finance. And anybody at work or my friends that ask me, well, what do you like about it? It's a great platform for those that are looking to invest in the long term, especially for dividend investors. If you're a dividend investor, you definitely have to check it out. With M1 Finance, I am not affiliated with them. In the sense that they have reached out to me and asked me to make videos on their content or on their platform. I do, however, have an affiliate link. I'll leave that in the comment section and in the description of the video below if you want to try it out. A cool thing is this is what I did with my wife. Is I said, okay, well, just try it out. What she did you can set up an M1 Finance account for free. you can build your pie and set it all up. You can build the target allocation, the weighting, and you don't have to fund the account to do that. You can start, and that's what we did with her. We set her up so that, you know, she picked her companies that she wanted to invest with, and then once she made the decision, and it was on her, she then set up the bank transfer, the bank account, and then transferred her $100. And the cool thing about M1 Finance is when you use the referral link, not only do I get $10, but she also gets $10. So pretty cool stuff. It's a win-win for both. So if you're going to sign up with M1 Finance, I'd invite you to use the link. But other than that, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all. If you follow the channel, I'll see you again this weekend. I'll have a regular weekly portfolio update. Going to be talking about a new topic on investing. So I will catch you all next week. And lastly here, if you like this type of video, if you liked, kind of the concept of sharing my wife's journey, and you would be interested in following that, leave us a comment in the comment section below, and we might, in the future do this a little bit more often, depending on, what you all think and what your thoughts are on it. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining, especially on short notice. So I appreciate you. And if you haven't already subscribe to the channel.
And hit that like button.
That was not staged, but exactly. Hit that like button. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in the next video.